Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be discussing debilitated planets today. There will be a longer version with more examples in the on my Patreon page. But I'm going to actually just share, there are 6 conditions that actually what happens to the debilitation. That debility will get cancelled according to the Vedic text. Now, I'm just going to add just very, just to let you know that actually I feel that even though debilitation can be cancelled, the person may still experience a little bit of delicateness or fragility regarding that planet's karakas and the actual houses that that planet rules in their chart. So let's commence. The very first one will be when the debilitated planet is actually in its exaltation sign in the D9. That you can see in Serena Williams's chart, where she has debilitated Mars in the D1, but in the D9, that planet is exalted in Capricorn. So you can see that it's given a massive success. The second one is when there is an exchange happening between the debilitated planet and the sign lord. So that has happened with many actually, but I found that Michael Jordan, he has debilitated Mars and debilitated Moon, but they're actually in exchange. So they work as though they're in their own house. But again, it doesn't mean that he doesn't feel that debility of the moon or he hasn't had struggles with that. Particularly, I think the struggles are more in the younger years. This also gets cancelled with the third condition is when the planet that is debilitated is sitting with an exalted planet. That you can see that in many people's charts. One of them would be Albert Einstein, where he has in his 10th house, he has a debilitated Mercury sitting with an exalted Venus. Then the fourth condition is when the planet that's debilitated is aspected by the Lord of that house. So you could actually say that you can see that clearly in Barack Obama's chart. He is a Capricorn ascendant. He has Jupiter debilitated on the first house, and he also has Saturn, the ruler of the first house, sitting there. So that effectively cancels that debility. Then we have the next condition, which is when this dispositor of the debilitated planet is an angle from the ascendant or the moon. This you can see in George Clooney's chart. So he has a debilitated Mars in Cancer at an angle from the moon. So it's 7 houses from his moon. So that effectively cancels that. And the sixth and the last one, which is a very odd one, is when you have 2 debilitated planets actually aspecting each other, which happens again in George Clooney's chart, where he has debilitated Jupiter, debilitated Mars in Cancer, and they both aspect in each other. So effectively, they're actually cancelling each other's debility. So these are the conditions for the cancellation. So I'm just going to show you a couple of charts, but there will be more examples for the Patreon subscribers. So here we are. Let's do the share. Okay, here we are. So this is Demi Moore. Demi is has got a debilitated Mars in her 6th house in Cancer. But as you can see, there's an exchange between Moon and Mars. So this is Aries and this is Cancer. I'm using South Indian chart. So you can clearly see that there's an exchange there. In fact, actually, for those of you who prefer North Indian chart, here we are. So you can see that there is an exchange between the moon and also the Mars. So Mars has gone into Moon sign and Moon has gone into Mars sign. So this effectively cancels that. Whether or not they are, as I said before, she probably has felt the debility of both of them. But this is how it works out in this situation. The next one I'm going to share is going to be George Clooney. George Clooney's got a really interesting chart in that sense, but he's Aquarius ascendant, and you can see Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn in his 12th house, as is Mars debilitated in his 6th house. But by the sheer fact that Saturn is sitting there with Jupiter, it will actually cancel that. Also, you can say the same thing from the moon. So Jupiter is sitting in an angle, first house from Jupiter. So Jupiter, and that will be cancelled. And actually, because also moon is there, and you got Mars sitting 7 houses from it at an angle, then that will actually cancel that debility, as will those two, Jupiter and Mars, sitting and cancelling each other out. So there's a lot of cancellations going on there. So this is my take on this. But obviously, I think that the periods of the dashas of those planets will be quite interesting, and they probably have experienced good things with that. But they could be also that they felt, a little bit vulnerable during that time as well. So that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.